Welcome to DC's Rental Act in 3 minutes, brought to you by Offit Kurman. I'm Gwen Harrison.
And I'm Brian Dorwin. Today we're going to talk to you about the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act and the reforms contained in the Rental Act, which was passed on December 31st, 2025. Prior to the passage of the Rental Act, TOPA, the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act, applied to almost universally to rental properties in DC. In multifamily housing specifically, tenant associations had the right to form and make a statement of interest in purchasing the property before any sale of the building could close. This caused obvious problems in the closing process, delays. Developers and landlords were often held up in their ability to close deals, and it frequently led to changes in the incoming purchaser's right to own and operate the property. Usually this manifested in demands made by the tenant association for certain improvements, additions to the property, upgrades in services and facility, sometimes even cash. The Rental Act has changed a lot of that, and we expect it to unfreeze some of the capital markets in DC's purchase and sale of multifamily housing.
Some of the noticeable exceptions to TOPA that have now gone into effect after the Rental Act are the new construction category. These are buildings that received their C/O, their certificate of occupancy, within the last 15 years. So those buildings, now labeled as new construction, have an automatic exemption from TOPA requirements. You want to look at when your permanent certificate of occupancy was issued in order to determine the 15-year time period for your building. In addition, there's now an exemption for low-income housing tax credit properties, or LIHTC communities. In the event that a minority owner departs from the ownership pool, that will not trigger TOPA as long as the majority ownership pool stays the same. There's also been additional exemptions added for small landlords, owners of 2 to 4 units or less. Brian, any other thoughts?
It's important to remember that as part of the Rental Act, you are required to advise incoming tenants of the TOPA exemption, and you're required to provide within 90 days of the effective date of the Rental Act current tenants with notice of the exemption as well. Although the law has a catch-all written into it that says failure to provide that notice won't necessarily impact your exemption. Thanks for watching.